Everyone, I'd like to welcome everybody to the April 10th, 2025 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
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 Are there any conflict of interest statements?
Nope.
No, sir.
Number 4, approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 3rd, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
And I second them.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Number 5, bid openings. I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of Officers Ronald Davidson and Jeremy Sandella to be promoted to the ranks of corporal with pay adjustments to be made effective April 17th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting permission to advertise the notice to bidders for the Erie-Lackawanna Trail repaving with advertising dates of April 17th, 25 and April 24th, 2025 with a bid opening of May 8th, 2025.
Good morning to the board. We ask for your approval for the advertising dates and bid opening date for the project. The administration seeks to repave the Erie-Lackawanna Trail from the interstate to Sibley. Depending on how much funding we have, we can sort of break that up in different phases if we have to. I ask for your approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $30,600 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 165th Street and State Line Avenue intersection improvements and corresponding agreement for professional services with First Group Engineering.
December, we bid the project. We're still waiting on contracts from the construction contractor. They're struggling to get a meeting with the building trades to sign the project labor agreement. In the meantime, this is just the CE contract to observe the construction to make sure it's built in accordance with the plans, 165th and State Line. Ask for your approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $16,552.50 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Pazer and sign inventory supplement and corresponding supplement agreement number 1 with First Group Engineering.
We hired First Group to survey the entire city to determine what the evaluation of all the street segments are. They did that by video camera, and they collected the data, they processed it with AI, so we got a determination. It's fairly simply. What we're asking here is that they reprocess that same video and collect streetlight data, both city-owned and NIPSCO-owned streetlights for our GIS inventory, along with the right-of-way located trees for an eventual inventory. So we'd ask for your approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $5,097.60 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Marble Street reconstruction submitted for approval.
So I apologize for not actually including the change order, so I will make sure you get that for next week. So this is just the balancing change order to complete the project. There were some items that came in above plan, particularly compacted aggregate was the most significant action. It's a $5,000 change. The board, Capital Improvement Board met to approve funding allocation earlier this week, so I'd ask for your approval of that.
It does say change order number 3 on the green sheet.
It's for change order, but I didn't submit
Gotcha.
to the board secretary the physical change order, so
Gotcha.
I will bring that to you next week.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter F, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $6,100 of CIB funding be allocated for the Kennedy Avenue tree clearing with Howard's Tree Service submitted for approval.
Tree clearing was not included in the original federal contract for the Kennedy Road Diet, so we asked that we get assistance from Devin Wick in the Parks Department, and his advice was to contract directly with our tree contractor, Howard's Tree Service. We did that, so I'd ask for your approval of the funding allocation.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter G, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $1 million of CIB funding be allocated for the 2025 annual resurfacing program submitted for approval.
This was considered at Monday's CIB meeting at the advice of the city controller. We're appropriating $1 million for street resurfacing this year. Ask for your approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Before you move on, sir, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I have to leave briefly.
It's okay.
Item 10G, I need more time. So if I'll just let you know, I need another 2 weeks to complete that action
Well,
item. So when it comes to that item, if you could please
Status
just.
and decision in 2 weeks?
2 weeks, please. Yes,
You got
thank
it.
you. Thank you. And thank you for taking that out of order. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, back to letter H of correspondence. Letter H, correspondence received from Ron Novak requesting the approval of the proposed license agreement renewal with SES Environmental, granting access to city property adjacent to 7305 Kennedy Avenue to monitor the soil and groundwater.
This is a release that was at the Golo gas station, happened in 2022. They have to have monitoring according to IDEM for both soil and groundwater and to determine whether the extent of contamination has been mitigated and/or is exacerbated. So this is an ongoing requirement by the state, and I recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, moving on to letter I, correspondence received from Lakeshore Cal Ripken Babe Ruth requesting permission to hold a parade on April 25th, 2025, starting at 6 p.m., and the Hammond Police Department approval with suggestions.
Motion to approve with the suggestions by the PD.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter J, correspondence received from All Saints Church requesting permission to hold their live procession of the Stations of the Cross on April 18th, 2025, starting at 10:45 a.m., and the Hammond Police Department approval with suggestions.
Motion to approve based on the suggestions.
I second.
I just had a question for the board on the last item, the Babe Ruth Parade, and
Yes.
this one. Do we know whether or not those folks have already met with PD?
Yes.
They already have?
Yes.
Okay, we should make sure that's on the record and just
Yeah,
make sure.
there's some, there was a little bit debate whether they were going to start on the west side of Calumet or the east side. The recommendation from the police department was start on the west side so that we don't have to cross Calumet. So that's the only way we're approving it, if they follow the suggestion.
Okay, and also letting them know about the kind of, the fact that we're not providing any additional security outside of helping with, leading the parade and at the end.
Gotcha, yep, yep. Did we okay J? We're good with J?
Yep.
Okay, moving on to letter K. Correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $6,851.38 of CIB funding be allocated for the sinkhole at city-owned property located at 255 Russell Street, submitted for approval. Yeah, yeah.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 8, matters from board members. Anything? Okay. Number 9, new business, letter A, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 943 Sibley Street, submitted for approval.
Yes, Mr. Luter has requested that this be approved as presented, 943 Sibley. So we've requested approval. This is one where we got a note from the title company. They're going to pay off and it's already been knocked down, so we just want to make sure that they pay the amount, and once they do, we'll record it.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Letter B, right-of-way permits received from engineering, submitted for approval.
Good morning. There's 3 from NIPSCO for gas lines. They have a little gas leak they need to investigate. 2 from Buckeye, just checking the pipe. So I would recommend approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, garage sale permits submitted for approval.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Letter D, request for late rental registration hearing submitted for approval.
Motion to set that date for April 24th, 2025.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 10, old business, letter A, status for 6333 Garfield.
do have some, good morning. Good morning. We do have some new photos for the board. Here.
Yeah, I wasn't making that mistake again.
Just to remind the board where we're at and set the record, we were here last on March 27th. Mr. Luter indicated he would take photos. I've given those to the board. We also talked about the chimney, which you can see on the photos. I think it's the last photo. You can see that there is some significant concern there, and, you know, especially with the tuck pointing and things like that. Also, the fence needed cleaned. You can see, I think, from the second photo, I believe, or maybe it's the third one, that the back fence looks a lot better than it did back when I showed you the photos that here. You might remember there was that tarp
Yeah.
and everything. So it looks like the cleaning's beginning, which is great news. We'll ask Mr. Luter to supplement what I've set the record on, and then, of course, we'll ask Ms. Redfield for her comments.
All right, the consensus has been from every contractor I've spoke to and reference is that chimney does have to be removed. There's really nothing left at tuck point. I did speak with Ms. Redfield. I gave her some recommendations. I spoke to one of the contractors earlier this week. They are working out and maybe they know more, they're working out a deal that will be a significant decrease from the previous price, according to what our conversation was. So that's between Ms. Redfield and the contractor at this point.
And Bill, was there an issue? I know at one point there was an issue of making sure we had a licensed contractor.
Right, and this contractor is licensed because it was one of the ones that I sent from our list. But the previous contractor was not licensed.
Okay, so can we, what do we need to find out from her today?
If she has anything in place with the contractor,
Okay,
because that was Tuesday.
okay.
All right, so if Ms. Redfield could address the board and let the board know what the status is with the contractor, please.
He said that he will take care of it. He prefers to take care of it when the weather gets better. He has been emailing me about everything, and we're just gonna wait till the weather gets better.
Did she sign, did you sign a contract?
Not yet?
Okay.
No, not yet.
Bill, who is the contractor?
My understanding is it's Ivan's Roofing or Ivan's Construction.
I haven't signed yet, but the person's name is Jamie or James.
That's their,
It's Ivan.
yeah, that's what Ivan, he's there, was who I spoke to on Tuesday.
We need it, can we ask when she intends to sign it and get the ball rolling?
He said he's gonna come to my house this week.
Okay.
This week.
So maybe if we could set it again, maybe for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3
Two
weeks?
or whatever, 3 weeks is good, yeah.
You want her to come back in 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
And I believe the weather's going to make that turn here in the next week, that we should be able to get that, we should be able to hopefully get that accomplished.
So I think the goal here, Ms. Redfield, is going to be that we would like to see it 3 weeks, that the contract's been signed, and that hopefully he's doing some work.
Yeah, is May 1st a good status date?
Sure.
So you want the work to be started by May 1st?
My guess would be that it's a one-day job, they should be able to get that finished in one day. I would like to see it completed by May 1st.
Yeah, so once you sign the contract, they should be able to start the work, and hopefully by May 1st, you'll come in and say the work's done,
Yes.
and then we can go on to the next thing.
Right, and I'll be able to stay on top of the contractor as well.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay?
Can
Thank
we,
you.
ma'am, can we please tell her that if there is an issue before May 1st, that she needs to contact Mr. Luter? Because we don't want to come back 3 weeks from now and not have a contract signed or any work done.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A motion to set the matter for status for May 1st, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, moving on to letter B, status for 6411 Harrison.
I'd like to present the board some updated photos. You can see that this is good news. 6411 Harrison has been rehabbed, and we would request Actually, at this point, all we're doing is updating the board on status. This is a property that is owned by HDZ Properties LLC. Board entered a rehab agreement with them that went through late November of last year, and then we gave them a 90-day extension. So this is good news, and we will be presenting the board with a motion to rescind and release in the near future, but this is just for status. There's no action. by the
No
board.
action necessary today?
No.
Okay. Okay, moving on to letter C, status for 6349 through 51 Jefferson.
Yeah, 6349 through 51 Jefferson. Status, Mr. Luter did give us some new photos. This was before the board in January. A bond had been posted and a building permit had been pulled, but we didn't have anybody from the owners showing up. It's owned by House Smart Inc. out of Highland. Here's some updated photos.
Okay.
As you can see, Mr. Luter can attest to that the property is getting rehabbed, and at least on the exterior, but I think he has an interior
Yeah,
update.
the interior, I couldn't get a picture through the window. I did speak with the contractor. As they started demo on the inside, taking up carpeting and other, they found some rotted subfloor that they had to take out, so it wasn't safe to walk in there because I'd be trying to walk on 2x6s. So that's why I got the outside pictures at this point.
So what we'd like to do is, we're probably going to do an amended rehab agreement because it's expired in 90 days, if we could have 90 days on this, and hopefully we'll be close to being done.
July 10th?
Sure.
Motion set for status for July 10th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, a letter D, status for 848 Truman.
848 Truman, the board actually already rescinded and released. It's been totally rehabbed. I think this was just the leftover status, so no action by the board.
Okay. Moving on to letter E, status for 6826 through 28 Kennedy.
Yes, I believe that the owner here, this is the Pioneer Tap on Kennedy Avenue, and Mr. Molina, the attorney, is on Zoom.
Okay.
So you can, yeah, Bill, why don't you hop over here with me?
Okay.
We'll give them that podium. Go on up, sir. Yeah. Yeah. I see he's also here with his contractor from Soto's, right? Yeah. Okay, good morning. And on this one, so last time we were here, and I'll grab my file in a second, but last time we were concerned about state approval of the CDRs. Okay, and I believe that's done, but we'll get an update from the owner. And then, of course, we're waiting on a rehab so he can start work. That's, I think, where we're at. Bill, anything to add?
I have a copy of the approved CDR from the state. I know as soon as I got it, sent it to Attorney Smith's office, try and get the rehab agreement to him through Attorney Molina, so maybe Attorney Molina can shed some more light. But I did speak with Mr. Soto before the meeting, and the owner's ready to sign the rehab agreement, post his bond. We've already had, I think the plumber also came in to try and pull the permit. We had to put them on hold as well. So they're ready to proceed, and hopefully at a very quick rate.
Yeah, we do have the rehab agreement. I don't know if Mr. Molina's been able to review that yet. We don't have it signed.
Yeah, I have not had a chance to review it yet, Kevin, but if you can email it to me, I know the owner is anxious to get started and has stated, yes, he's ready to go now that we've got the plans approved. And if you get that to me, Kevin, we'll get a quick turnaround on that.
Okay, so as soon as we get the signature on it, we can present it to the board and they can consider it. And so it could be as early as next week, Marco.
Yeah, that would be great, Kevin. Fantastic.
Status.
Sir, do you have anything to add to that? Do you understand all that?
No sé qué dice.
Que se entendió todo eso, que va a arreglar todo.
¿Cómo?
Que se va a arreglar todo. Que se entendió todo eso.
I'm going to wait to the lawyer explain me everything, or
Okay.
We understand.
or if you can I get an interpreter. Can I hold?
Well, I can, if I could address the board real quick. I've discussed it with Mr. Quintana, and if we're where we are right now, he's ready to go. We'll get that rehab agreement executed and get things moving.
Yeah, so I'll send it to Mr. Molina. I thought it may have already been, but if not, if it has, we'll do it again. And if it hasn't, of course, we'll send it to him. And I don't think the board needs to set anything except, well, it does expire July 1st, so if we could set a late June status, unless Mr. Luter believes we need a sooner one. than that.
No, I think we go with the 90 days should be fine.
Let's do a late June if we could, just because that's right before the expiration.
June 26th is the latest.
Okay, June 26th, and then we'll keep that for status, and I'm sure the rehab agreement will be before the board. If it's not, Linda, if the rehab agreement's not before the board in 2 weeks, let us know so we can set it for status and find out what's going on with the owner, but I assume it'll be in before then.
Definitely.
Okay,
Mr. Soto, can you please tell him that his attorney will explain everything that happened today?
Ya, le van a explicar ahí, ahora le van a explicar todo lo que pasó.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to set the
Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
You too, Attorney.
motion to set the matter for status for June 26, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter F, status for 7235 through 41 Calumet Avenue.
yes, so this is the one that Mr. Peterson's involved with for the owner. I know that in speaking with Mr. Kearney and Mr. Farrell this week, that they were going to go out and check out the water situation there. They're supposed to be cut off from the illegal residential units, and that's
Yeah,
where we're at.
I have something set up for Monday at 10 a.m. to meet the owner and do a walkthrough to see what's been done.
And if that goes well, of course, Mr. Farrell will report to me and let me know, and if that goes well, then we can get the covenant, I think, signed for the 5-year, and then we'll go from there. So if we could maybe just have what do you want, Nick, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks would be fine.
2 weeks.
24.
April 24th?
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to set this for status for April 24th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just request that Linda send notice to Mr. Peterson, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Letter G, status request for stop sign at Bering Avenue, 167th Street.
Dean handled that before he left, right?
Yep.
Kevin, do we need a motion for a status, or we just
Yeah.
leaving it?
I guess what I would request there, since Dean need more time, so we keep it on the agenda, if we can maybe have 2 weeks, or
Okay.
whatever you think.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Mark, 2 to 3, 2 weeks?
Okay, motion to set this for status for April 24th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter H, late business license denial hearing, Dr. Gessler's Hearing Center. This one, right? Yeah, this one, yeah. Could you give us your name, please?
Yes, my name is Dr. Gina Geisler.
Okay.
I'm asking if the late fees of $2,600 could be waived today, and I just pay the $1,320 so I could get my own business license because I was with my dad in the same building, and then he retired, and so the business license needs to get straightened out. So I'm asking for the late fees to get waived.
Can I just ask a couple questions
Sure.
before we go?
Sure.
When did your father retire?
He retired in 2022.
2022. And so ever since then, you've been acting alone there?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. We hear from the city now?
So from my understanding is that her father is a family practice and she's the hearing center. So I believe 2 separate things. So father retired in 22, but we're addressing the center. Like, when does she start the center and from there? And from our conversation, it looks like 2016 is what she is saying. So, I mean, we're fine with, from 2016 to current, to get her current, because the actual past due bill was from 2012 to current. So, she's saying that she actually started in 2016.
So, ma'am, there's a question. Are they looked at as 2 different practices? Yours and your father's, when he was working?
So when he was working, I was working for him in Hammond, but I had a different office just by myself in Munster. And so when my dad retired in Hammond, it is just me. So like when I was in Hammond, we were together, but then when I was in Munster, he didn't work in Munster. So it was myself in Munster. Now, since he's retired, it's just myself in both locations.
So was the business license kind of an umbrella over both of those, if it was under her father's name?
It was just her father. She had never obtained a business license for the center. For the
In
hearing
Hammond.
Are
center.
both practices kind of under the same umbrella is my point. I mean, that's what I'm asking. I don't know if the city can answer that.
Yeah, I do not believe so, but I mean, she would be able, because
Can you answer that, ma'am?
So when I started working in Hammond, I worked with my dad in Hammond, and then I opened a second office just in Munster, and then in Munster I was just by myself, and then when my dad retired is when I came by myself, but everything was done under him in Hammond.
Okay, so you believe you owe from when your dad retired in 2022 until now? That's what you believe?
That's what I believe,
Okay.
but since there's so much confusion, what I was offering was if you could just pay the late fees, like I'll pay back to the 2012 so I can get my own license for Hammond. I just am asking to have the $2,600 late fees waived because I didn't realize I needed my own license because I was working under him.
Could I ask a couple questions? Or, I'm sorry, Ms. Greenwald, did you have?
I just was gonna say, if, back when your dad was practicing, if I wanted to come in, I would make an appointment with your dad's office, and then he would direct me to see you for hearing?
Correct. You would call his number, and then depending on what services you wanted, like, it was all billed under him because it was his business. So depending, like, you would call his number, and depending on what you needed to be seen for, they would tell you, like, whose schedule you would be on.
Is the practice similar, or did you and your dad both have similar types of practices?
So my dad was a family practice physician, and I have a doctorate in hearing. So I just do like hearing testing, cleaning ears, just anything with the ears. But like we have the same patients, but he can't do some of the things I can, and I can't do all the stuff he can, but it was under the same
Was
business.
if I went to the place in Hammond, right, and I went there and I saw the door, for example, or the awning or whatever the sign was at the place, what did it say?
Well, the sign on the building had both of our names, but you go in the same door, you check into the same thing.
Same staff?
The same staff, the same business phone number, fax number, computer system, like every,
Yeah, I would almost analogize it to almost like a clinic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Multiple physicians, or, multiple
Yeah.
practices going on. Especially if it's like, if it was like, oh, unit A is
Right.
for the general practice, unit B is if you need your hearing done, that to me might be a little different. But I mean, I'd like to hear what Ms. Serrano has to say, or if you have anything that you have that would be different than that.
it was just confusing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm okay with what the board decides.
So what was you said there was a number you were willing to pay. What did that include?
you guys want to go back to charge a license from 2012? And I understand that. I was just asking if you could waive the late fees.
So I think what she's saying is the $1,300 would be 13 years of.
I would pay the $1,320, which you're saying would be the time I would owe the license for. I was just asking if you could just waive the late fees.
What is that, 20? Yeah. Okay. 30, that number right there. This right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the confusion, I was just asking for the late fees to be waived.
So what is that, like $1,320?
Yes.
She wants to pay the $1,320.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's see.
And then do you know why, so then I guess the other issue would be if we're kind of treating it, if we're talking about treating this as one situation, since 22, I assume when your dad passed away.
No.
He didn't pass away, he
I'm sorry.
retired.
Oh, he didn't
That's
pass away, he just stopped working. Okay,
correct.
Okay, got it. When your dad retired, the one that was registered with the city still wasn't filed, right? Or did it just, what happened between 22 and now? Or I'm sorry, or maybe like even this year?
Nothing.
He didn't renew it either?
Nothing
Okay.
happened, right?
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I would say is that, so we've had no registration at all since '22, is that right?
Right.
Correct.
24, 25. I mean, I think, in talking to Mr. Serrano, I think the city's position would be, we're happy to take the, let's get up to speed on the registration and impose one late fee instead of more than one, as just for the 3 years that, that they weren't registered.
Okay.
But we're fine
Okay.
with whatever the board wants to do.
Okay.
Okay. So do you understand the process now?
Yes, but my understanding is I can't get my correct business license now until this is resolved, so that's why I want to get this resolved.
And Lisa's worked with you, I'm sorry, Ms. Serrano has worked with you, so you know the ins and outs, so there will be no reason for you to have to come before the board again without a license.
Correct. I would like some more information on the renewal process and stuff, but yes, that's my, yes. I don't want to have to come back.
Okay. All right, so we're going to make a motion based on this information to waive the late fees, and you'll be responsible for all the business license fees. So whatever that entails, and you only have like 30 days to get this done. Okay?
Okay.
Did I say motion? Sorry, I did.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, moving on to number 11, letter A, 47, late rental registration hearings, letter A, 4749 Hickory.
Oh, I have an email here. Yeah, that she wants to continue this. Are you okay with going to the 24th, or you want to set it for next week?
that's
then?
fine.
Okay. So I'll motion to set this Hickory matter for 4/24/25.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, 5225 State Line.
Good morning, that is me.
Good morning,
Julieta
ma'am.
Riesco.
Can you pull that mic down a little bit?
Gladly.
Give us your name again, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Julieta Riesco.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened last year?
Yes, I took the home as my home now. It is my primary home. So I asked my tenant to leave, and that's why I didn't register it, because I no longer have a tenant.
When did you ask your tenant to leave?
My tenant left October 1st of 2023, and I have my driver's license.
Okay.
And I have my US Postal, where I changed my address, so it is my primary home now.
Okay.
That's why I didn't register, it's a rental.
Yeah, so,
Gotcha.
I mean, the only concern would be is that it's a 2-unit property. There's a front and a rear structure, and so it's been registered as a 2-unit all the way up through 2023. And then for 2024, there was nothing submitted, which is why we're here today. And then a single unit registered for 25, with as her occupying one, and then the tenant occupying another. So in 2024, either if the property was completely vacant or if she occupied one, there'd still be, one left unaccounted for. So.
And that is correct. The officer is correct, or this gentleman is correct. I lost my husband to COVID in April of 2020. I had lots of things to rearrange and lots of things to do. And when I came to ask for a permit, now that it's my permanent home, and I see that there's a lot of water getting in the back home, and the sidewalk needs to be resolved as the issue. So when I talked to the contractors, I said, well, if I'm going to just repair the house towards the back, why don't I repair the whole thing from the front forward? And they said, sure, you have to go get a permit. So when I came to get a permit, I spoke to a woman downstairs, Daniel, and Ms. Daniel said, we cannot give you a permit because you did not do your registration. I says, what? I owned this home for over 10 years, almost 10 years. I come here the first few days of the month in January to to do what I have to do. And she says, well, hold on. And she went to the back and she says, you're right, you've never been late. You always pay the 1st of January. What happened? I go, I must have forgotten. And so she said, well, we will issue you a permit. So I got my permit to do my sidewalk. And then she said, you will hear from someone. I never heard from anybody. I called her, I says, look, you said I would hear from someone, no one's called me. Then she goes, then just let it rest. And then I got this letter to show up today.
Okay, so since April of '23, have you ever rented it out, since April of '23?
So I need
I
to.
mean, excuse me, October.
I was gonna say,
October.
no, because it's the back.
Okay, so what do,
We typically, when one unit's owner occupied and the other one is vacant for repairs, we would allow the owner to submit an exemption to cover the vacancy. If her intention is to also rent it out in, the future, then we would, want the documentation for that year.
Oh, but there-
So she has registered on time every year. 2024 was the only year unaccounted for, and then we were made aware she was moving back into town from Texas, I believe.
That's correct.
And so, all that we were here for would be 24 to verify whether or not one of the units was occupied by a tenant.
so do you need some kind of affidavit from her, or?
Right, so if she occupied she needs to distinguish either the front or rear, which unit she's in, and then fill out an affidavit to account for the vacancy for the other unit, and then she's already registered for 25.
Okay, so ma'am, even, because you've been up to date all this time, do you understand if we waive the late fee, we're gonna need an affidavit saying which one you live in and that the other one wasn't occupied?
The other one was not
I
occupied.
understand, you have to fill out an affidavit.
Oh, no, the other one has always been occupied. My tenant has never left.
You
No,
just-
no.
you
Go
just- You just said you haven't rented it out.
Oh, I didn't understand the question. I think you're talking about my home, where I'm at. I misunderstood.
I think she was speaking upon the unit, she had the tenant evicted so that she could then move into that.
I didn't have the tenant evicted, no.
So the rear one would have been occupied by a
Now I'm
tenant.
confused.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so.
There's two homes.
Hold on, for 5225 State Line, there's two homes.
Yes,
I thought you said in October of '23, they moved out so you could move in.
That's
Is that
correct.
accurate? So it hasn't been rented?
No,
You haven't had a tenant?
for the front home, there's two homes we're speaking of. It's what is it called, like a coach house? It's
Yeah,
granted.
it's a front and rear, it's a
Yes,
cottage,
it's two
like rear cottage. So the rear cottage has been occupied by a tenant the whole time.
Yes,
The front was occupied up until she decided to move into it.
yes.
So in 2024, I mean, technically, was the front unit, was it occupied by a tenant in 2024 for longer than 30 days?
No,
Okay,
I asked my tenant to
So then she
leave.
would owe one rental registration for the rear unit for 2024.
Yes.
And this was, I'm glad we got here finally. Okay, so ma'am, we're gonna waive the late fee.
Thank you.
But I will tell you that, again, if this happens again, we probably won't waive the late fee, and you need to get that straightened out, okay?
Absolutely, I understand, and as he said, I've already done 2025.
Okay,
And thank you for your grace.
okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
Thank
I
you.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you to you. Thank you,
you.
board. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, letter C, 6411 Euclid Avenue.
Thanks. So for Euclid, actually, I request the board take no action on this matter. In 2024, the property owner brought in proof that the property was occupied by her grandson and then subsequently sold the property to him. So it is a owner-occupied home for 24 and forward. I had her submit an affidavit to that declaration, and we can close this matter as a rental.
Okay,
Okay. No action.
no action necessary for letter C. Moving on to letter D, 4749 Sheffield.
Ms. White?
Okay. Could you give us your name, ma'am?
Donna White.
And can you tell us what happened in 2024?
I bought the house towards the end of March. And then I had my brother staying there till July of 2024. And then he moved out of there to my other house at 4339 Wabash, because I do own those two houses also.
I have a question, Nick. So the address on the agenda is 4749 Sheffield?
Yes.
But
Correct.
we have 4343 Wabash on here.
That's where I live.
That's where, gotcha, okay. Okay, so which one of these houses do you live in, ma'am?
I live at the 4343 Wabash.
Okay,
And I am now renting the 4749.
Yeah,
When
so-
did you start renting that?
September of 2024.
Yeah. So it's the first time the property's being registered as a rental. They purchased it same year. Just for future, if they purchase additional properties, they have 30 days from the date that the closing date is to submit some form of documentation, just letting us know how it's going to be occupied. And then this does have a homestead tax exemption still applied. I know they do previous year payable, next year. However, I just want to make sure they have the documentation filled out, so I have one of those forms here for them. I'll review that after the meeting with you.
Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. If you want to wait, she'll give you a copy, and you can go downstairs and pay the $5, okay? Thank you. Yeah, right here, yeah.
Grab those.
Okay, the meeting is now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jordan,